subscribe.
Fight fans, welcome. This is the one we've all been waiting for, Usyk Fury 2. And I'm delighted to be joined by Rob-Boxingshrew of the Sports to Sang podcast and also the big king on boxing Twitter. How you doing, Rob?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on as well to do this brilliant preview show with me.
No problem at all. Last I saw you, you were going to be going to, well, we were at the Davis fight, weren't we? But you were going to be going to the Sonny and Galal fight. How was that?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, mate. I mean, obviously we all know what happened, but brilliant atmosphere, good card, and it was brilliant to see. Obviously, Galal your fight to win in the hometown and going on to bigger and better things now. So yeah, it was a brilliant night. Thanks, mate. Well, before we get on to the card of the fights that we have left, I'm going to ask you first, off the cuff, about the Dennis McCann versus Peter McGregor cancellation because of an adverse finding in a VADA test for Dennis McCann. What's your opinion on this?
Well, when I saw it break, I thought it was one of those parody accounts. You know, you get some people pretending to be like Michael Benson and they stick an extra N on the end. And I thought, I just thought, nah, that's rubbish. And I looked into it and I saw it officially. I couldn't believe it. I know, you know, it should shock you every time, but this one I just didn't see coming. You know, you get cases like Ryan Garcia where he was acting absolutely crazy, wasn't he, all the way in the build up to the Haney fight. So it didn't surprise me at all when he popped. But Dennis McCann seems to live the life. You know, he's gone up to Liverpool, spending a lot of time up there. Really surprised. There's usually no smoke without fire. How many times do these tests come back? A sample and B sample positive. It doesn't look good, does it? And regardless of if he clears his name or not, it's stuck with him for good now, isn't it?
I totally agree. And I've seen an interview with Eddie Hearn where he said, you know, obviously it's not his fighter, but it's a long road ahead now with the battles that Dennis McCann's going to have. Likewise with me, I was shocked. Liv seems to live the life. I mean, I've seen the backlash on, which I call Twitter, which is now X, social media, Instagram, and all the socials saying about, oh, you know, about drugs cheating, all this. Like, I do get it, but I do think also we're in a day and age where we have got to wait for the procedure to pan out to see what exactly is failed on, what's happened, and sort of like give it a bit of time. Are you of the same opinion of that, or don't you agree with me on that?
Yeah, and I think there's certain situations where fighters hand it differently, come out very aggressive, naming no names, and you know, treating the whole process with massive disrespect. He's been very quiet, hasn't he? I don't think he's even released a statement yet. It's all been very official from Queensbury, Mr. McCann this, Mr. McCann that. So I don't know. We don't know what he's failed on. I mean, was it a trace amount? Was it, you know, a shit ton of it? You just don't know. But at the minute, I'm a big advocate of if you fail and you fail on the B sample, if you can't prove how that's in your system, ban him. Like, I know that sounds a bit harsh, but ban him, because, you know, I know Dennis McCann isn't known as a big puncher, but what if he went in there and hurt Peter McGregor on Saturday and he didn't get caught? Like, I felt like a broken record because I bang the Conor Ben drum a lot online, and some people don't like it, but a cheat's a cheat. And I've always liked Dennis McCann, but if you've cheated to try and, you know, get that Saudi bag, not for me.
No, I completely agree with you. If you fail the B sample, I think he should be banned for life. There's no way he should be allowed back. But this is the sport of boxing. There seems to be so many loopholes that people seem to find a way. So it'd be an interesting development, and as I said, a long road back for Dennis McCann. So let's move on to the fights that we have got. The first one I want to cover is Isaac Lowe versus Lee McGregor in the featherweight division. You've got Isaac Lowe, 30 fights, 25 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, 8 KOs in his wins. Lee McGregor, 16 fights, 14 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 11 KOs. I mean, originally this was planned for a Channel 5 main event, which is now landing on the Riyadh season card. Must be the big influence of the big Uncle Tyson Fury, I'd say, for Isaac Lowe to get him on this card. But a nice payday, well, for them both, really. How do you see this one going?
I mean, Isaac Lowe, he's absolutely clocked the game, hasn't he? He's ended up on every undercard of Tyson Fury, whether it's in Saudi, over here, in Vegas a couple of times. I mean, he's done very well. He's always first up as well, so when he gets to watch the rest of the show. So, but him and McGregor is a very interesting fight. I mean, they've both come off really and still recovering from quite damaging defeats. I know McGregor's had a couple of wins this year, but he's, you know, that Robles defeat really took the wind out of his sails when he had a lot of momentum. And Isaac Lowe, I just feel like he's forever been trying to redeem himself after getting smashed up by Nick Ball at Wembley a couple of years ago. So it is an interesting one. I go with Lee McGregor. I just think he's a bit fresher. Been in with better people. I know Isaac Lowe lost to Nick Ball, but at that point we didn't know much about Nick Ball. You know, it's only two and a half years ago, and all of a sudden he's world champion. He should be unified really. After I felt he was robbed in the first title shot, so I'm going to go with Lee McGregor. Probably on points. I can't see him stopping Isaac Lowe. He's quite tough, isn't he?
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, I would agree with you on that. I just think that Lee McGregor, even though his last couple of fights have sort of been relatively easy ones, like, you know, a 6-rounder and an 8-rounder, and it was a bad defeat to Robles, because Robles obviously went in with Liam Davis after that. I believe he got stopped in like a couple of rounds, I think it was.
With relative ease, yeah.
Yeah, like relative ease. And yeah, the Isaac Lowe defeat against Nick Ball at Wembley doesn't look that bad now, because obviously Nick Ball's gone on to do some great things. But I just think Lee McGregor's going to be, like you say, a bit too fresh. And I think he's got a little bit more boxing skills about him than Isaac Lowe. But I do agree with you, Isaac Lowe's tough. But I do fancy Lee McGregor possibly could get a late stoppage here and make a bit of a statement. But I think it's a decent fight, actually. I mean, this was probably one of the ones I was looking forward to on the card for excitement, like I was Dennis McCann and Peter McGrail.
Yeah.
But speaking of excitement, this one for me next, Johnny in the heavyweight division, Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen. You got Johnny Fisher, 12 fights, 12 wins, 11 KOs. Dave Allen, seems like he's been around forever. 31 fights, 23 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, 18 KOs. I'll go first on this one. I'm not massive about this fight, in all honesty. I mean, they've gone for the name with Dave Allen. I mean, his last fight, really. I mean, was it Fraser Clark? Was it? Oh, Fraser Clark.
I think he's had a couple since, but that was his last.
He's had a couple of 4-rounders. Yeah, a couple of 4-rounders, but his last main one was Fraser Clark. It was a 10-rounder. Stopped retired in the 6th round. I just think Dave Allen, for me, I love the guy. He's done a lot of good things for British boxing. He's been tough. He's been a warrior. He's been in with the likes of Luis Ortiz, Dillian White. I mean, this is definitely on paper Johnny Fisher's toughest fight. But I just think Dave Allen hasn't got a lot left now. I mean, he's talking about he knows he's at British level and can he go on and fight for a British title and this again. But when you actually see him in his interviews, he's saying, let's see what I've got left. He doesn't actually confidently know himself what he's got left. I mean, he's doing all the training, he's doing all the right things. I just think there's too many doubts with Dave Allen, and he doesn't really probably deserve to be on a Saudi show. I like the guy, but I don't think he deserves to be on a Saudi show. But he's getting a good payday, but I think Johnny Fisher, up and comer, tough guy, big puncher, learning all the time, getting better with his boxing. I'd like to say that Dave Allen can at least go the distance, but I think the going's going to get tough in there for him. And I'm probably thinking Johnny Fisher will take a late stoppage here, even though Dave Allen is extremely tough. And we know how he's been in with all these guys over the years and gone the distance. I just think he's a bit too long in the tooth now, and I'm going to go for a Johnny Fisher late stoppage. What do you think?
2 rounds.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think he's going to blow him away like he did Babic. Probably, maybe not as quick. I just think you were right, Dave Allen. Fair play to him, getting an opportunity. He shouldn't be in there. I thought for his own physical and mental well-being, he should have been he should have packed it in a while ago. I thought that after the David Price one, it took a lot out of him. He went back to sort of leisure centre fights after a little break, and
Yeah,
he lost to Fraser Clark. It's a bit unlucky with that, with the low blows with Fraser Clark, but he still got beat. And
yeah,
no,
outclassed completely.
I feel like he's carried on for his own sanity. I'm no mental health doctor, but I feel like he's carried on because he's got nothing sort of behind that. I've seen interviews before where he said, "I don't know what I'm going to do when I quit boxing. What the hell am I going to do? It's his life."
Yeah,
And you'd like to think that he's earned a few quid, but how far do you push it before you get really hurt, and then you got to go back to your family in a state that you shouldn't be. And for that reason, I don't think he should be in there. But Johnny Fisher, I don't think Johnny Fisher will win a world title. I don't think that's harsh in saying that. But fucking hell, like his support and the tickets he sells for the level he's at is absolutely phenomenal.
I
Like
agree.
he's going to take loads of people to Saudi Arabia, probably as many as anybody has taken tickets to Saudi, including
Yeah,
Tyson Fury. Selling them personally. Really like him. He's got a lot of power. Not sure I'm quite into the whole Bosch and Chinese thing with his dad, but it's
normally.
bit of fun in it, bit of fun. But
Mm.
I think he's going to blow him away quite early. I'm surprised if it goes past 3. I reckon 1 to 2.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, that would be some statement, really, stopping Dave Allen like that. Because even though he's getting long in his career, the names on his record, that would be some major statement. So
Well, would you put
interesting
it
one.
this way?
Let's
Put it
see.
this way. Do you think Babbage on paper was a tougher fight for Fisher than Dave Allen?
For Babic's style, I can see why you'd think it's a tougher fight. But from what I've seen of Babic, I just always think he's been chinny. Whereas I don't think Dave
Yeah,
Allen necessarily is as such. That's the
fair
only thing
enough.
I'd
Yeah.
determine like between the two. But it's an interesting fight. But I don't particularly like it because of I don't want to see Dave Allen get bashed about. In all honesty, but so let's hope we're both wrong and we see a little bit more from him. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Moving on again to the heavyweight division. We've got Moses Aitana. Exciting times for him. 10 fights, 10 wins, 8 KOs against Dempsey McKean. 23 fights, 22 wins, 14 KOs in them wins, 1 loss. How do you see this one going, mate?
I mean, with the momentum that Atama's got, and with our British tinted glasses, you'd have to go with Moses, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
It's actually frightening that he's only 19. I'm sure he's 19, maybe 20. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But it's a big step up. This is
I
by
agree.
far his toughest test. I mean, I know McKean's been out for a year, but he lost to Filip Hrgovic. Like that's the only blemish on his career. And a year ago, if you'd put a timer in with Hrgovic, he would have got beaten all, wouldn't he? So, really, really big step up. I think the future is just so bright because all of the top names in the division at the minute, bar a couple, are well into their 30s, and you've got this 19-year-old whippersnapper who can take his time. He doesn't have to be taking Dempsey McKean in his 11th
I
fight. That's
agree.
all.
Yeah.
But in answer to your question, sorry that was a long-winded answer, but Moses Atoma might be points to be fair. I mean Dempsey McKean, we haven't seen much of him on TV. Barber Hrgovic, he hasn't really been televised, certainly in the UK, has he? So how tough is he? You'd like to think he'll maybe go late at the distance, but I've got Moses Atoma, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I think this will be a really, really good win for Moses Aitama. I mean, you're right. Dempsey McKean last fight stopped in the last round, 12th round against Filip Hrgovic. And okay, Hrgovic lost in the end convincingly to Daniel Dubois. He gave Dubois a tough time for them first few rounds. We know what Dubois has obviously gone on to do. So I think this is a tough fight, really, for Moses Aitama at this stage of his career. I mean, you still would expect him to win if he's going to go on to do the great things that a lot of people are talking about. It's quite animated. Frank Warren saying about where he thought he's going to go, and with the caliber of heavyweights he's got in his stable as well. But I think Dempsey McKean is definitely going to drag this fight out late, and I probably would edge Moses Aitama on a points win. But I think if he can stop Dempsey McKean late, I think it's a massive bonus because it's his huge step up by far. This is, and for what we're expecting from Moses Aitama to do in the division and step up a lot further than this still yet, I think it'd be a very good win, even just to win on points, say unanimous decision or something like that. So I'd agree with you. Moses Aitama, I'd confidently say a points win, but Dempsey McKean will give him some tough times here and there, hopefully. But I think if he can make a late stoppage, even better. So interesting one.
Can I ask you a question on Moses Aitama? I had an interesting chat with Alex on this a few weeks ago about, I think it was after Atama's last fight. Like, where would you pitch him in, like, for British heavyweights right now? And I basically like went through them and said, like, would he beat X, X, and X right now? So, like, do you think he beat, like, how far up would you rank him? I mean, outside of, you know, Fury and Joshua, would you put him next? Like, I don't see any of the others beating him. Like, would he beat Joe Joyce? Would he beat Joe Joyce right now?
I think so.
Dillian White?
Yes.
I mean, Johnny Fisher.
That's the fight I want to see.
Yeah, me too. I tweeted about that about 18 months ago, and everyone was laughing at me. I thought, well, one day, you never know, because at the time they were on obviously different promoters, and it weren't happening because of the Saudi money wasn't there at the time. So, but that'd be a great fight. But I think he'd beat Johnny Fisher, though.
Yeah, I would probably edge him to win that, yeah. And I'll tell you what a good fight to be, Wardley and Aitama. That'd be
Wardley, yes, of course. I can't believe I even missed him out. But yeah, he beat Fraser Clark. I think Wardley might have a bit too much of a minute.
I'd probably, possibly, it'd be an interesting one, but his style of Fabio Wardley would be interesting to see Aitama under the cosh a little bit like that, to see how he copes with it. Whereas we were talking about the Dempsey McKean fight, even though Dempsey McKean's fought the higher level with the likes of Hrgovic, he's not really a guy I suggest that comes forward and throws the punches like Wardley does. Whereas I feel like Dempsey McKean's style will probably suit Moses Aitama better than what Fabio Wardley would.
I think Wardley's an animal. I do. It's such a strange one with Wardley, isn't it? Where you pitch him, because I don't think he'd beat any of the top guys, but he beats the rest, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a super exciting fighter as well. I'll definitely give him that one at the very least. And
what he did to Clark in that second fight.
Oh yeah, superb. And for what he's done as well, for coming from white collar to this, it's just unbelievable. So fair play to him. Well, we'll move on now to the super welterweight division, which is Serhiy Bohachuk versus Ishmael Davis, which is a late standing. It was supposed to be Madrimov. So Bohachuk is 26 fights, 24 wins, 2 losses, 23 KOs and then wins. Ishmael Davis, 14 fights, 13 wins, 1 loss, 6 KOs and then wins. I'll go first on this one. Obviously, the original fight we were supposed to have, I thought was going to be a really good fight, because Bohachuk for me is an animal. I mean, you've only got to look at the record: 26 fights, 24 wins, 23 KOs. So literally, he's gone the distance once. I mean, Ishmael Davis, balls of steel to be stepping in this late again. He's done it before. He's doing it again. I know he's getting a big payday for it, but, you know, he doesn't have to. Potentially could get stopped there by, like we say, a massive puncher. But Ishmael Davis will roll the dice again and give it all he's got. But I expect him to take Bohachuk some rounds, but I think that Ishmael Davis would do very well here to go the distance, because of Bohachuk for me is just a nasty, nasty fighter. So I'll be quite quick with this one. I think Bohachuk will win late stoppage. What's your take on that one, Rob?
Mate, copy and paste, exactly the same. Yeah, same. Absolute animal, Davis, though, and he's going in twice last minute like that.
Fair play to him. Yeah.
Just be ready. Like the absolute ultimate opportunist. He's gone in there twice, got the Saudi money twice at a week or two's notice, both times. Like, I rate it, I do. So many fighters would be like, oh, I'm not ready, but obviously keeps himself in good shape, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love that. It's quite old school, isn't it? But yeah, I agree. Bohachuk is an animal. That was one of the notes I wrote down, actually.
Oh, really?
So you took words out of my mouth.
Okay, sorry about that.
You know, that's all right. He's only lost to Virgil Ortiz as well, hasn't he? Almost recently. So
that's the distance fight, isn't it? That he was the distance, wasn't it? So I mean, to go the distance, was it a split decision, that one?
Yeah, I think so.
As well, split decision. Like, I mean, you know, Ishmael Davis to step up from Josh Kelly to this is just no disrespect to Josh Kelly, but it's like worlds apart. To step up again you've just got to give him a huge pat on the back. I mean, like you said, he stays ready, and they know he stays ready, so he gets these opportunities. And let's be
And
honest,
if you land one shot, you get a big fight, don't you?
exactly. And he's got nothing to lose, really.
No.
No one's really expecting him to win because of who the guys who he's in with. If he goes the distance, he'll come out with massive credit anyway, and he'll go on again and still have like loads of fights. And I hate this mentality. I've had this before with people where, oh, that's it now, a couple of losses, he's done. He's not done because he's in with Bohachuk and he's just a different animal. But let's see again. You never know. This is boxing. Ishmael Davis could land one from the gods. You just never know. But what we're going to do now, we're going to come on to the one that we've all been waiting for, the big unification world heavyweight title fight, which is for the WBA, WBO, WBC, and the IBO. I've got to include that one. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Usyk, 22 fights, 22 wins, 14 KOs. Tyson Fury, 36 fights, 34 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 24 KOs in them victories. I'll let you go first on this one, Rob.
Where do you bloody start?
I know, it's just a fascinating fight.
So many questions. But not over Usyk. I would say I never really question Usyk. It's very easy. Some of the theories that have been put out there. Someone actually replied to a tweet about 20 minutes before we came on, saying, Fury, how does he do it? And the general consensus has been he needs to take it to him. But we had this before after the first Joshua fight. Everyone's saying Joshua needs to stick it on him. Well, that's easier said than done. His feet are amazing. Usyk gets out of any situation. I know we had a bit of a that thing with Dubois where he got a bit lucky because it was borderline low. It could have been legal. And but apart from that, no one's really phased him or made him look like he's going to get hurt. And like I say, his feet are amazing for a heavyweight. He's grown into that weight. And I mean, if Fury does pull it off, fair fucking play. Like, I ain't his biggest fan, Fury, with some of his antics out the ring, but if he goes and beats Usyk fair and square on Saturday, like, bring on the trilogy. So all good and well him saying, I'm going to retire Usyk. I think he said with Dev Sani this afternoon, but you're not going to retire him. It'd be 1-1. You can't just leave that situation at 1-1, and you know that's fair that you would give him a trilogy fight. But I'm going to go with Usyk because if you've beat someone once, you can beat him again, and he beat him fair and square. I just hope if it goes to the judges, he gets a fair crack of a whip, because some of the comments from Turki Al Sheikh have been borderline unprofessional. The way he speaks to Fury in public on a call with Usyk, like, I'm amazed looking back that Usyk got a decision in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I hope it's as good a fight as the first one, because it was probably fight of the year. We haven't been spoilt really for amazing fights this year.
Yeah.
Maybe on some of the sort of lower profile, but as the top fights, that was definitely the best one. So yeah, I'll hand it back to you, mate, but I'll go for Usyk on points again.
Yeah, I think whoever's making predictions on this fight, obviously me and you on this show, the whole country's talking about it. The whole world's talking about it, I'd like to say. The thing for me is, with this fight, I think nobody can be that confident of who you think is going to win. I mean, I'll come to my opinion now, but I'm not mega confident. I don't think anybody can be mega confident because of the last fight who will win this one. But my reasons are Alexander Usyk, whatever situation he's been in any fight, he's always found a way. He's that guy for me. He's a winner in life. He always finds a way. He'll have a bad round. He'll come back out. He'll put that bad round before right. He's just a super phenomenal boxer that can adapt. He's got a plan A, plan B, plan C. Tyson Fury is the same in a roundabout way, but I just see Alexander Usyk slightly has that edge in boxing skills and boxing credentials, and more of a, like I say, more of a plan than Fury. Fury can adapt, but I just see that Usyk's a little bit ahead of him in that department. But it's a fascinating fight. And the one thing I want to pick up on as well, Tyson Fury himself has said, all I need to do is go out and adapt the same tactics and not have that round 9, and I'll win the fight. I see where he's coming from with the way the scorecards and that went. But for me, if people believe that, like, give your head a wobble, in my opinion, because I don't think he's going to do that. I think no one knows the game plan. He's telling people what the game plan's going to be because he's the master of mind games. But unfortunately, he's met the master of mind games matching Usyk, because that's just the way he's himself. And he couldn't get into Usyk's head before, where he's done with a hell of a lot of people. But I'm going to go for Alexander Usyk on points, because I just think he's going to have the edge over Tyson Fury, because I don't think Tyson Fury's arrived today and he looks like he's very, very slimmed down to me. It might be the tracksuit he's wearing or whatever. So that suggests to me he's not going in. You know, some people go, oh, use his weight, use his size. He's not going to go in like that for me. He's not going to go in gung-ho. He wouldn't anyway, but I think he sees this as a long fight, so he's going to have to be on his toes, be mobile, move around the ring. But I think it's going to be pretty close again, but I am going to say Usyk on points again. I don't think we'll see a stoppage. And I think if you're going to edge your bets for a stoppage, I don't see Tyson Fury stopping Usyk. I mean, look at last time. If there's going to be a stoppage win, it was going to be Usyk. And probably should have been stopped in that round 9, because if it wasn't the calibre of fight it was, I do believe it would have been stopped.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Undisputed, he'd have been out of there, wouldn't he? They'd have waved it off. He was all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. And, I've heard people saying to me, oh, I think Fury stops in this time. I don't see what anyone takes from that first fight, how you can say Tyson Fury stops Usyk. It should be the other way around.
Other than Fury fanboy, like that is it. Like, because you could say that about any fight. Oh, I think he stops him. What on earth has made you look at that and think he could do? He might, but there's no evidence to suggest that would happen at the minute.
Yeah, completely agree. This is boxing. It's just a prediction show. We've all got our opinions, but I just think Usyk is there's just something about the man. He's just a born winner, and he always seems to be able to pull something out of the bag. He adapts to everything he does. But say Usyk wins this fight, he's talking today, he's going to go back down to the cruiserweight division and unify again. And you're just like, what the?
Tell you what, cruiserweights, like Homer Simpson in that bush. The cruiserweights are like that, going back into a bush.
Yeah, it's just mad. It's just madness. I mean, well, he's talking about like he'll go back down, and well, he said he'll become undisputed champion at cruiserweight again. I mean, it's just, if he does that, I mean, this is what I like about the guy. He's just got constant goals all the time. He sees this fight.
Why? Like, he's done everything.
Loves the sport, doesn't he?
He's literally putting his on the line every single time when he's done it all. Like, he's literally been undisputed at cruiserweight and heavyweight. He's beaten Joshua twice. He's beaten Fury. If he beats him again twice this Saturday, like, he's done absolutely everything that he's needed to do. In the middle of that, he's literally got, he's defending his country. Like, what a guy! Like, what an alpha!
Oh, he's just unbelievable. I mean, taking nothing away from Tyson Fury. I mean, Fury's done amazing things in the sport. I mean, if we get this prediction wrong and Fury wins, it's 1-1 and you go on to a trilogy. It's simple as that.
I'm closing my Twitter account for a couple of weeks if he wins on Saturday. I'll tell you what.
Well, obviously this video will be going out on YouTube in a bit, and it'll be going out on social media. So I'm prepared for the backlash just in case. So you've got to be as well, mate.
Yeah, I know. But it should be good, mate. Like I said, the quality of just the top two, because take Usyk out of it, Fury is the best of the rest. He beats everybody else at the minute. So just to see them go straight back in again, no messing around. I know there was the cut before the first fight, but that can't be helped. And it's what the sport's all about. It unfortunately it's took the Saudi money to make it happen twice, but it is happening. And
that's where we're at, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait. Are you going to get an afternoon nap, mate? Because it's probably going to be another late one.
I don't know. They're saying 10 p.m. ring walk, so I'm
10 p.m. That'll be 10 p.m. We might get some shit rapper on that we have to watch for half an hour.
Well, this is what annoys me with Saudi shows. I'm showing me getting older here, but I'm not into the rapping these days, to be honest with you.
Same.
But
no one walks out to Michael Jackson anymore, do they?
What's that, sorry?
No one walks out to Michael Jackson or anything anymore.
No, it's all the glitz and glamour and the rapping and that, which is not my scene, but
I like Jack Catterall's walkouts. I do, but disco.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bit of me. That'll be me more than the rapping and that. But it's a fascinating fight. It's a shame we haven't got Dennis McCann and Peter McGrail on the card, but there's still some intriguing fights. One that I've discussed I'm not happy with, but the rest are okay. There's some interesting fights going forward. But it's been a great preview in this fascinating fight with you, Rob. This good card. And make sure everyone follows you on Twitter, which they probably already do because you've got like 10,000 more followers than me, I think, mate.
I don't know how. All I do is I'll just chat bollocks, but some people seem to like it. Some people seem to hate it, but it comes with the territory, doesn't
it? Fair play. Obviously, tune into your Sport to Sang podcast, award nominated as well, I should mention. So brilliant that is. Thanks for coming on, Rob. It's brilliant to have you on here. And everyone, look forward to the fights, and we'll sign you out with this.